Federal government, through the Ministry of Agriculture and Food Security, has announced immediate measures to address the high cost of food in the country. The Minister of Agriculture and Food Security, Senator Abubakar Kari, announced this on his official X account. This window will include the suspension of duties, tariffs, and taxes for the importation of certain food commodities through land and sea borders. The targeted commodities include maize, Hawks brown rice, wheat, and cowpeas. Our administration has unveiled a series of strategic measures aimed at addressing the high food prices currently affecting our nation. These measures will be implemented over the next 180 days, Gary said. To achieve its objective, the minister said that the imported food commodities will be subjected to a recommended retail price. The federal government will import 250,000 metric tons of wheat and 250,000 metric tons of maize. These semi-processed commodities will be supplied to small-scale processors and millers across the country. Engagements with relevant stakeholders to set up a GMP and purchase surplus food commodities to restock the National Strategic Foods Reserve, ramp up production for the 2024-2025 farming cycle, continued support to smallholder farmers during the ongoing wheat season, farming through existing government initiatives, strengthening and accelerating dry season farming nationwide, embarking on aggressive agricultural mechanization to reduce drudgery, lower production costs, and boost productivity. These are the measures they have been put in place to actually achieve to boost food security in the country. Well, I would love to ask you, Barrister Mankey, what is your thoughts about this, achieving this in 180 days? Do you think it's something that can be done? Because you just talked about the hardship of the country and then the fact that most people are eating dust, and some people are actually don't get to eat in a day. Some don't see we don't want to go into emotional parts, but we hope that this measures are being put in place by the federal government to crash prices in the food sector. But do you think this is something that can be achieved in 180 days?
It's not a matter of 180 days stuff. I like looking at matters from the root. You see, this announcement, you know what? I sometimes call Nigeria a theater of absurdities. It's very unfortunate, but I have to say it the way it is. Why I say Nigeria is a theater of absurdities is that there is a systematic process by our leaders who are not honest to us. What they do is that carefully from time to time they invent one project or another aimed at diverting the attention of Nigerians. When they have done one thing, they invent another thing to divert the attention of Nigerians so that they cannot talk about it. Their attention will not be diverted to another issue.
Quickly, in a sense, you're saying that this is not actually a measure to bring down food prices. It's not a measure to aid the hardship that
did you hear the government
going on in the country.
The government is saying that they are going to import. Are you listening?
Yes.
They are going to import. They are going to do import waiver for 180 days.
Yes.
Nigeria has the capacity to feed the rest of Africa. The analyses are there. I won't be as good as Peter Obi.
I'm not saying that it's actually a good one to import foods into the country. But in this instance where we have seen that the issue of insecurity has affected the food procession and everything in the country, you would say, you talked about the roots, going from the roots. If you want to look at something, you go from the roots and make sure you actually sort it out from the roots. And first off, this food insecurity that's going on right here is affected, the hardship going on is affected by the insecurity happening in the country, especially in the northern parts of the country. So most of the northern parts are where these foods we consume are being produced. But in that essence, what do you think the import part you're talking about, do you think that's actually a wrong move to take?
I think why I consider as a wrong move,
okay,
right, is this. Number one, what kind of food is going to be imported?
Maize, brown rice.
What brand of maize? Is it organic maize or these, what do you call it? Genetic modified food? You know, some time ago, the foreigners were trying to impose that.
Okay.
And Nigerians in the agri sector were rejecting those, what do you call them, seeds. Do you understand? Because they realized that once you plant those seeds in our soil, it will reconfigure the what you call it, the texture of the sand, and make the sand unproductive. Most of these genetically modified seeds, they have such capacity. And there was this counter campaign by Nigerians who are into agriculture that they should be wary. These are the things that if the government has the people that hurt, they should have been concerned about. If the government is sincere, let me say this to you. This present economic holocaust that is plaguing Nigerians is founded in two things: energy and insecurity. Bola Tinubu is the petroleum minister. He knows that Nigeria has comparative economic advantage in the production of crude oil, that Nigeria has no business importing any drop of refined products. Give this crude oil that God gave us here to modular refiners. Give it to Dangote at a subsidized rate. Give it to modular refiners. Harness these youth who are into parallel refining. Nigeria will be self-sufficient in production of refined products. And once that happens, it's going to crash the price of a liter of fuel.
Okay, so that's the root cause you're referring to.
That is the root cause.
Okay.
And once that happens, it's going to affect people who are going into the hinterland to bring in food items. And then they should also concentrate energy on fighting insecurity. We talk about the army that are going to be retired. They didn't mention anything about insecurity. The insecurity, which is the root of the problem, is there, and the terrorists are entrenching themselves on daily basis, and they are killing Nigerians, they are killing the farmers, they are killing innocent indigenous population. What kind of government is this? And then you are not talking about the question I raise is what kind of food? Is it not the genetically modified food that they are going to import into Nigeria? You know the population of Nigeria. Instead of answering the real question, you are now using these tactics to divert. And look at it. And that is how this genetically modified food will also affect our system. Do you understand it? These guys know what they are doing. I will see a situation wherein most Nigerians will reject this food. Tackle insecurity. Let Nigerians go back to their farms. Most of these products or these crops we are talking about is not something that takes a whole year to mature. Do you understand it? The land is there, but the land has been taken over by foreign terrorists under the guise of herdsmen. And the government knows about it. So to me, this is just an attention diversion tactics, and it is not good for us. And I want Nigerians to be wary. Those of us who are enlightened, like there are those who are within the petroleum industry, they will tell you in fairness that our government is not being fair to us. That if they are sincere to us, Bola Tinubu knows that Nigeria has what it takes to refine this crude oil and then subsidize transportation. Okay. Do you understand it? So the moment that happens,
tackle insecurity, improve agriculture, and then reduce this, shun this measure of importing.
It makes no meaning. We have what it takes to produce. Okay. Why don't you allow us to produce? Okay, look at it now. You are importing refined product or petroleum, right? Why we have what it takes to produce? We have enough land to produce. Why don't you allow that to happen? Why don't you allow this now? They are just looking for a way to waste. They are not going to tell you, just like NNPCL. They will not tell you that this is the only agency that can handle the importation.
So they will,
you know what happens there.
Another fund for that.
Another fund wastage.
Thank you on that, Barrister.